We're Induron Coatings. We're in the industrial coatings. We're an industrial coatings manufacturer, primarily epoxies, but we do urethanes, fluorourethanes, zinc-rich coatings, and some other things. We have about 40 employees. We've been in business for 80 years this year. I've been with the company for about a little over 22 years now. Started in sales, was sales manager, tech service, and now I'm executive vice president and general manager. In 2011, we went with a program called Sage PFW, and we really liked that program. But unfortunately, they quit supporting it in 2014. Well, we isolated it on a server and did that actually tried to implement another system, and it didn't work out. And so we isolated that particular program on a separate server so it couldn't be updated. And we rocked along for almost 10 years with no support from Sage themselves. We did have a consultant that helped us find you guys, or helped us find Acumatica, and then i.e. you guys through that. When Windows 10 goes away next year, we were just worried that there's a crash coming sometime and we would be back to pencil and paper, which is not a good thing. As for the quality management solution, so we are an ISO 9001 certified company, registered company, and we have all of our QC records back from 1947. Every batch we've ever made, but we've never put those into a computer system. And so we have started doing that, entering that with it. It's on each batch ticket now. And it was before, we just didn't enter it, but we're entering it as we close each batch now. And we really haven't had a lot of time to work with that yet because, we make so many different products. Batches we only may make a batch 2 or 3 times a year. And what we're trying to do is get enough data to build trends so that it'll be beneficial to us. I was doing my job plus a lot of the sales manager as far as costing, pricing, salesman P&Ls, things like that. And this job, and being in a cloud system, he now has access to all of that information. So I've been able to take those things off my plate for this year. So really just the access for the sales team. I mean, they have limited access, but they can look and see what they've got and, things like that. And it gives the sales manager a lot of access to data that he's never had before. We did try and implement quite a few years ago, Process Pro. We did look at another Sage. We did look at another Sage solution as we were looking at you guys, but we just felt like this was the better solution. I would say better to me means more people have access. It is much more intuitive. And your team, everyone on the team really, I think, tried to meet our requirements as best they could. And they did a fantastic job on the 3-page batch ticket, which is kind of the number one thing we have in our company that we run our company off of, because on our shop floor, we don't have computers. So our 3-page batch ticket takes our formula with work instructions, puts it on a 3-page batch ticket, the first page being the formula, kind of like the recipe for a cake, right? With instructions about when you put stuff in, how long you mix it, if it has to be up to temperature, other things. The second page being a packaging page, and then the third page being the QC tests that have to be run and the requirements for QC. And they made it look, and again, we're ISO. And so we did change the revision on that form when we changed systems, but you look at it and you can't really tell the difference. I mean, and so that was a big thing for us, to make sure with us being ISO that things remained very similar so we didn't have to rework our whole ISO system. As far as the process manufacturing, while the steps may be a little bit different than our old system, they are very similar. We write batch tickets, we work off the batch tickets, we close the batch tickets and relieve all the inventory and do all that and put the QC information in. And so that has been not quite seamless, but as seamless as you could make it, transitioning, I think, from one system to another. Against Acumatica's advice, we did run parallel systems for 2 months. And I checked the costing every single day on every single product, every single order, and it matched up extremely well. Again, I think I said it earlier, the team really strived to meet our requirements and made the transition as painless. You guys know, especially for us folks that are not non-tech people, every computer transition is like pulling teeth, but they made it as painless as possible. The 3-page batch ticket is the absolute most important document that we run our company with, because it comes from the lab, from the formula, it goes through customer service, it goes to the plant, it goes to the shop floor, it goes to QC, and then it goes back to customer service to close a batch ticket. So yes, it's the number one workflow document that we have. Yeah, and so the formula report is like a physical properties thing where the guys can scale formulas and see in the lab, everything that they need to know: volume solids, weight solids, VOC, HAPs, all those things, and they were able to do that. And it just kind of shows physical properties of a formula as they're developing it. And I can't speak to all the details on that because I'm not a formulator, but I was on it enough to know that that we did a lot to improve that to match kind of what the guys wanted. Because you got to be able to go from volume to weight to volume, and I know that's probably pretty easy math. I know it's easy math, but still it's important for what we do. The lot labels that were customized were again another form that was an ISO form for us, and they're like on a small Zebra printer, and basically that goes on every single bucket that we ship out of here, and it would have the date of manufacturer, the product code, the batch number, the sequence number. So if it's the first bucket filled or the 50th bucket filled, it tells us all that information so we can lot track stuff, and even within a batch we can tell when it was filled. So if there's an issue, it kind of gives us ideas. If it's filled first or filled last, there's a higher likelihood that you could have some debris or something in there. And then I'll go back to the batch ticket again. Team made it seamless. It took a lot of work to get there. We know we were pretty particular, I guess is the best way about that. We're pretty particular about that, but that's kind of how we've been running our business for years and years, and wanted to make it a simple transition, especially for the guys on the shop floor. Again, we're ISO, so we have pretty strict quality standards. And how we want to do things, and we were trying to replicate what we were doing, and you guys helped us do that. I think the good thing about it being cloud-based, at least the way I understand it, I'm no technical person as far as computers go, but as we pay for our subscriptions, every update that comes in, we continue to get updated, so hopefully in perpetuity we never have to change systems again. I know that's probably pie in the sky, but at least that'll get me through the rest of my career. So, and then the biggest difference in it, we haven't really been able to use it yet, that we are entering the QC data now that we have never done before, but those trends, like I said, will take a while to develop for them to be useful to us. It's funny, I've got a friend that's a managing director of a company similar to you guys, different industry, but an IT software type company. And so he's kind of my sounding board on stuff. And he says, I will say this. He said it would take us 2 months to be functional, 6 months to be comfortable, and 2 years to really get ROI. And I think I told you earlier, we ran parallel systems for 2 months to build confidence. It was a lot of extra work for us, but it's something we chose to do. And from day one, July 1st, we went live May 6th, but really July 1st was the first day we started running our company off of Acumatica and eWorkplace. And I would say I've heard the horror stories. We invoiced correctly. We shipped orders correctly. We have written batch tickets correctly. And not to say we haven't had a hiccup where we've missed a step or here or there, but generally speaking, from the day we went, we've gotten it right. If it's somebody that's never had a process manufacturing system, I think it would be 1,000 times better than trying to track everything manually. And if they've got something else, I do think that it would be better according to what they're using or how old it's been.